What is up, everybody? I am Taylor. Welcome to Unboxing Match. I can't even remember what episode this is. 14, I think. 13, 15, somewhere in there. It's one of those. But this is the Battle of the States. It's not a battle. It's just we exchange boxes. We talk about things we like. We talk about comics. We got the one, the only Cole's Comic Claims, who's doing fun things with a bag of peas right now. He's got a fantastic mustache, and we're going to talk about why Wisconsin's better than Michigan. He'll probably disagree with that, but you can't trust Michiganders. Anyways, I'm going to welcome to the stream the burrito himself, or I don't know if he's still burrito. We'll find out. We'll ask him. Anyways, what is up, sir? How you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
I'm all right.
Nice.
He has a bag of peas for reference.
He's got the bag of peas. We can talk about why that happens if you want down the line, but why don't you tell folks about yourself? I usually forget to do this. I assume everybody knows everybody because that's just
So I'm Cole. I started my YouTube journey with a show called Comic Burrito, which I'm still a part of, but I haven't been a part of just because I have a 6-month-old son, and when we do our live streams, it just hasn't fit for me. I've also started my own channel where I just kind of do unboxings. I've opened a lot of cards recently because that's the thing that I became into. I live in Michigan, which is a far superior state than Wisconsin. We have better beer. I mean, we have better college football. You guys have better pro football, I would say. And maybe you have better cheese.
We definitely have better cheese, and we still have better beer. I don't know what you're talking about. Michigan beer. You've got like a cherry festival. That's all right.
Two Hearted is the greatest beer, according to the Home Brewers Association.
Have you ever had Lake Louise Milk Stout? It's fantastic.
I don't know if I have.
It's pretty.
I do like stouts though. But have you had KBS?
I've not. So.
Which KBS is loosely like a ripoff of Bourbon County, which is a great beer made by probably a terrible brewer. I don't know. Goose Island is debatably good or not anymore, right?
Yeah, they're I don't know, whatever. I would say Chicago.
They do good things. Yeah. But they kind of rip that off, but it's kind of cooler because they're like, we're trendier.
I mean, that's really what it's about. It's like who has the newest brewery and can make sours the fastest or whatever the hell the new one is now. So
yeah, I don't know. I'm still thinking that New England's. I'm like 5 years in the past because New England's are still the cool beer for me.
And I can't even drink beer anymore. So like I've got a intestinal condition that limits I can't do anything bubbles. So whiskey is my jam lately, and I'm learning about whiskey as I go. But the problem is when I'm learning about it, I'm drinking it, and then I drink it, and I forget how to learn. You know, it's a vicious circle where I'm like, oh,
but that's the fun part about bourbon, right?
Yeah. So
most of it's good.
See, Goose Island, yes, Chip. He's from the Illinois himself. I've got Illinois and New Mexico representing tonight. So I know nothing about New Mexico, Les Crucius, other than you all have Meow Wolf, which is the best name for an art exhibit ever.
Oh, they have one of those in Las Vegas.
Yeah, the original one's from I think Santa Fe, where George R. Martin lives and refuses to write any more books. So
yeah, fuck that guy. I mean, not really. He's probably a good dude, but like that sucks that he doesn't complete that. But also, New Mexico has Breaking Bad.
Oh yeah, there you go.
So meth.
Yes, meth. It's got what's up, Painted? How you doing? It's got meth and George R. Martin, who should probably do some more meth so we can start writing again. So.
Bring the dragons.
This is off to a rousing start. All right, so how this usually works is I usually have the guest, which is the esteemed mustachioed Cole, open books first. We just sort of chat about things and go from there. He gave me a list that I've tried to stick to, kind of, sort of, and we set a price point. But you don't need to know all that. This is just kind of fun and all this stuff.
Yeah, mostly all the stuff that I probably recommended was stuff that my daughter's into.
Nice. Yeah, and I stuck to some of that, but I also kind of veered off a little bit. Yeah, I knew New Mexico was the first one. So do you have a favorite character at all?
Batman.
Batman? Okay.
I mean, it's hard. Yeah, Batman, I mean, obviously is, but Saga's probably my favorite, story. I mean, my daughter's name is Hazel. Because of
all right. If it follows a story that does not bode well for you.
Yeah. Well, no. I mean, she's the main character. She's never going to die.
That's true. I'm just saying as the father of the main character. Spoilers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, at this point, it is and it isn't. It's back, so.
Yeah.
All right, so we start here.
Yeah, I learned how to do that finally after people were like, how do we open this? And,
but I also did that on your... I don't even remember putting mine together.
I don't know. I got this far, and we'll get into it. But I have a stack of goodness. I'm going to embiggen you so you can show off the books and the peas if you want, but you know. Oh yeah. That's a random one.
So it's funny. I have one of these books, and I almost included it in your stack of books, but it has like a tag on it.
Oh, nice.
Like where it was probably sold in a bookstore, and I was like, I don't know, somebody might get upset about that. Should I read this?
It's an old EC reprint, and I just thought it was kind of a cool cover, and I threw it.
Well, I mean, I assume that's what you do with these, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I mean, it's not a high value book. I was like, that's kind of cool. So I just threw it. I ended up getting a whole lot of those at like a half price book down the line. Oh yeah, Moon Knight. We were just talking. That's the first appearance of the left red sock in Moon Knight, which is the
that's Taskmaster.
Yeah, that's
So funny thing is, one of the things that I do on my channel is me and Bearded Comic Bro do a cover challenge.
Oh,
and
nice.
I don't know who it is, but somebody included this book in their cover challenge.
All right.
So
I thought about
doing
that, but then I get lazy. And I don't remember covers, and I don't have an organization.
Okay, so what I do here, I'll give your viewers my behind the scenes on how I figure this out. I use CLZ.
Oh, nice.
So what I do is I just organize it. The best is when we do publishers, organize it by publisher.
Oh,
and you just see the cover. So I
probably should, but then I don't use CLZ either. So I would be starting from ground zero and having to like do all my stuff. I have two stacks. I have three now. I have things to sell that are not on eBay, things to sell that are on eBay, and then keep. So like the eBay stuff is organized just because it kind of has to be when people order on that thing. But the whatnot stuff and whatever, none of that's organized. I just kind of grab it and put a stack of them selling. So
people are probably seeing books, but I'm switching them around the
all right, yeah, you do, yeah,
so that I can.
No, you do you. So yeah, we got everybody jumping in. Everybody.
Hello, everybody. So yeah, as I mentioned, I think I said I put on my list everything my daughter likes. Spider-Gwen is her favorite.
Spider-Gwen's a cool character.
Yeah, I'm starting to get into her more.
Are you reading the What If or whatever it's called now? The new one?
The Miles one?
Yeah.
It's not good.
No. And there's
I'm still getting it, but it's not good.
Yeah.
Gwenverse I'm enjoying. I've heard some people don't like it. And sorry,
I'm the some people.
Huh?
I just thought I read the first issue. I was like, well, this is a goddamn mess. And I'm getting
of this.
Yeah.
And I mean that's the thing. It's fun. You have to look at it as the same way that like it's not great, but it's fun. I know Freaky Louie, he had mentioned. I haven't read a lot of Spider-Verse stuff. I just read the original run.
Okay, yeah.
And he said that this is very like what the Spider-Verse stuff kind of is.
Oh, really? See, I've never read I watched the movie Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, I read the whatever the first appearance of Gwen is. I read that 4-part arc, which is just weird. It's like here's some new characters, and then I started Spider-Geddon.
Nice. Here's a pro tip for you that I just found out this book is valuable. If you have the second volume of Spider-Verse, the last issue, the one that came out right before COVID, number 6, send it in and get it graded and sell that thing because it's like a $2,000 book right now.
What is this book? Who is it?
Spider-Verse number 6. It's look on your CLT. It's the second volume of Spider-Verse number 6 from 2020. It came out right before 2019, 2020. It came out right when COVID hit. So it's got Miles in the cover, and there was a Walmart variant of the first issue of it that's worth a little. But number 6 has like 7 first appearances, and it's going bananas on eBay right now. I found this out on Saturday night because I was like talking to people on Chips Live. Everybody go follow the White Shadow, and I was like had a stack of books. I'm like, should I have these pressed and graded? And I was debating number 6.
It's volume 3.
Oh, volume 3. Sorry, volume 3.
So it looks like this, right?
Yeah, that's the one. So everybody, if you have that, get it graded after I get mine graded and sell it. So
first appearance of Sea Spider, Sun Spider, Spider, Spider Requiem, Spider Sting, Garden Spider, White Widow. Because there was only 20,000 copies made. I'll look for that on Wednesday.
Yeah, so if you have it, or if you can find it at your LCS, just grab it. So, anyways, so you started collecting for your daughter, right? How old is she?
She is 3.5.
Nice.
So she does not really appreciate any of this right now.
Oh, that's
But
all right. Sure.
when I started reading the first Spider-Gwen to her, and she was kind of into it, Brian LCS, actually, I won a Wonder Woman 80th anniversary
Oh,
issue
nice. Yeah.
from him. And when that came, the package came and she was like, "Oh, this must be for me." And I was like, "No, it's for me." And she just opened it and she's like, "It's got Wonder Woman in it. It has to be for me." And I'm like, "Okay, that can be yours." And I've started collecting like dollar bin books and
Sure.
like free comic book day books for her, because if she reads them and she just rips them apart, it's not that important. But I was like, "Oh, I already have a copy of this. Let's just read it." And so I'm looking like, who are the authors in this? And there's a Tom King one.
Nice.
So I was like, all right, let's read this one. The worst one to probably read her.
Probably to read to a kid, yes. The ex-CIA
Yeah.
agent or whatever Tom King is, yeah.
She doesn't even have superpowers in this. She goes on a date with Clark Kent because Lois says that Clark Kent is a square and he needs to be more fashionable.
Oh, nice. Yeah, good old Tom King. You might have some Tom King in that stack if I remember right. We'll see.
Oh, we'll see.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Batman.
Batman.
You probably have that one already. I figured.
I do. So during COVID, my goal of comic collecting was to get the 400s of Batman.
Oh, nice.
And it took over the first year. But so a lot of these books I just found in like dollar bins or $3 bins. I think this is a little bit more cleaner of a copy. I know there's a weird version of this.
Yeah, that is the error variant.
Okay, so I don't think I have the error.
So variant. And the only way to tell is if you open and you read the indicia or however you say it, the tiny little type on the inside, it'll say issue 000 instead of 457, and it says so. It's a minute error that doesn't affect any damn thing, but it is the error variant. So,
what type of bags and boards do you use?
I used that was whatever that one came with. That's not my favorite. I just normally
use all of these seem to be the same, and they seem nice compared to.
I don't think I rebagged that one. I do for the most part, but I use just the BCW.
Okay.
Yeah, the standard
one. That's sort of what my shop uses, but then they switched to this other brand. And it's just got like a guy with glasses on it.
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah.
And they're kind of dark. Like they're cloudier almost, I would say.
I don't like those. They're a little loose too for the bags, at least from what I've found. So
like they're fine to get as free boards, but like I usually switch them for books that I care about.
I'll buy them if I need them, and that's all they have, which is given all the shortages and everything now,
So does your shop bag and board your comics?
No. Does yours?
Yes.
That's awesome.
What do you get a discount at your shop for having a pull list?
I do, but it's a weird one. They use Comic Hub, and then they give you like $1 for it's like a 10% off dollar credit, I think is what it works out to be. Okay. So like I usually just save up the discount, and then I think about using it to buy big books, but I blew a lot of it last week when I pulled it was 25 books. I'm like, I'm just gonna use my saved up money. So
yeah, because mine does 10%, and they do.
I might. There's one near me that's a very small shop that's almost never open, which is the two downsides, and they don't carry much. So, but if I'm diligent about the pull list, it would work, which I'm not. That's the other problem. But they do 25% off and bag and board everything, which is great. But
so I've done one thing because I'm kind of like you, but I've definitely changed because of just time. Where I want to read everything, but I can't as much anymore. But what I've been doing lately is I've switched to Gmart. Have you heard of Gmart?
No.
Gmart is a shop in Chicago.
Okay.
But they have an online pull list.
Oh, nice.
You just have to order. So like right now, they just opened up June or July's books to order.
Okay. Yeah.
35% off.
That's nice. I know nostalgia.
And I'll buy trades from there because it's like, at the end of the day, like 35 compared to the 50% you're getting from in stock, but you're buying from, it's a local comic shop, right? My sister-in-law lives in Chicago, so I'm supporting us, and their website is god awful. Like it is old. It is made in the 90s, but if you can figure it out, it's good. You can even get like toys and other things on there if that's something you care about. But yeah, like most of the times, like I pre-ordered that Something is Killing the Children slipcase because the slipcase costs just as much as the original with the discount. And then I ended up selling it to Comic Book Poser for whatever the asking price was at the time.
That Poser's like the Mikey'll get it of the chat. He was like, Mikey.
Well, I posted it. Yeah, it was one of those. I posted it on Instagram, and I was like, 150. If anyone offers me 150, I'll sell this because that's what people were asking for it. And then he was like, I want that, and I was like, well, I'll give you a discount because you're
Poser,
a person that I like. So
yeah.
But I just figure if I could sell it, it's worth selling it.
Well, you just made Chip's day because he lives in Gurney, and
so I don't know if you go to Gmart, you get 35% off, but if you order online and have them shipped to you. So the other issue is that you have to have $85 for free shipping.
Okay.
So I usually just kind of like order stuff that I kind of like. A book like Swamp Thing for me, I get a lot. It's a lot of people's favorite book, but for me, that's kind of a book that takes a lot to digest. So I don't like reading that weekly. I like reading 6 issues at a time. So I put that on there because if I just wait and I get 6 issues, I'll just read those 6 issues and I'll enjoy it much more.
That makes sense.
Something like if I were still pulling Department of Truth, I probably would put that.
Yeah.
But like if there's like a 4-page or a 4-part Marvel book that's kind of silly. That I'm like, I don't know if I want this. If I'm spending 35% off on it,
even if it knocks it down to like 25% of what you really want, that makes sense. I would do it. There you go. You can ship him down the street to his office. So, I would do that. My problem with getting the books later, and this is a self-induced stupid problem, is I do the weekly comic book stuff for the reviews, and I want to be on top of it for my loyal audience of 4 people.
And that's why I just kind of gave up on that. But that's the thing. I still have a pull list of like last week I spent $75 in my shop, and that's for the 10% discount.
Which makes sense.
But last week was just kind of one of those crazy weeks where a lot of stuff got pushed back and then came out. So
my stack was like this last week.
Or like I tried to pre-order Bad Idea stuff, and then
see none of the LCSs around me do Bad Idea, which is okay. I miss out.
I wish I would have known that.
It's I can get them if I care usually, and I don't and with those I don't necessarily care about the first print. I'll get if they do seconds or whatever they
probably won't. Well, they've done seconds. Gmart or Crusade, I don't know. One of the shops I got some second prints in Chicago when I was there last.
But I think they don't differentiate from any of their printings other than the first. At least that's when they started.
It's just a first print.
Yeah. So. Oh, thanks, Chip. You're one of the 5, Chip.
Maybe he's saying he's not a people.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe he is kind of a stormtrooper, I guess.
Yeah, Chip came.
Clones are people too, Chip. Stuff. Yeah. So you have your favorite character is Batman. Do you have like a favorite run of comics or a favorite like storyline from anything?
From Batman or just
from anything back in the like?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of weird, right? So like my favorite Batman run that people don't talk about that much is just a 3-part issue, and it's called like The Many Deaths of Batman.
Okay, I don't think I know that.
It's like 423 to 425. I just liked it because I started, as I was telling you, I started collecting those 400 runs. I was like, I started rereading year 1, and then I just kept going.
Yeah. Nice.
So that's what made me keep doing it. And I got to that and I was like, this is very interesting because I've never heard anyone talk about this. And it's kind of cool because what's happening is all the people that taught Bruce Wayne or Batman how to do the stuff that he's good at are coming back to Gotham and somebody's killing them. So he has to do some detective work to figure it out. But like you learn a lot of his backstory about like this guy, he learned gymnastics from.
Nice.
This guy, he learned how to, I don't know. At this point, it's been a while since I've actually read it, but it was just kind of cool because you get to see who taught him some of these things that people don't actually like talk about in the other runs.
Except for, I think that's the new hotness is like going back and filling in the gaps in Batman's old history. Like there's a couple, like Zdarsky's doing that now with like his whatever Batman the Knight or whatever. I can't remember what it's called. But
I have not read that. I've kept to only reading Batman and Detective. And I'll pull any book that Tom King does that has the name Batman in it.
And see, I even got rid of Detective. I'm just reading the core Batman, which is not necessarily the best title because...
Oh, yeah. Detective has been better pretty much since James Tynan's taken over Batman. For me, personally.
Yeah, goddamn Tynan.
Yeah,
it's like I'm just gonna like that was just Tynan's like I'm banking on future royalties. If anything, like he's speculating on his own shit. That's what Tynan I think is doing.
And the thing that I hated the most about it is the two characters I found the most compelling. One wasn't even a real character, and that was like the designer.
Yeah, that was just nothing.
So apparently, he had his own pitch on what I don't know. I think there was a lot of stuff because a lot of people were sour on Tom King. Granted, I think that DC probably should have just let Tom King finish his run and see if it worked or not worked. But like
that's not
whatever.
DC's forte though. They'll pull. Yeah. They don't like controversy other than.
But like at that point, you should have pulled the plug.
They're not a fan.
You should pull the plug at 55 and not wait until 85.
Yeah, that's
or whatever. Yeah, but
what's up, John?
But yeah, I mean that, and I like Clown Hunter, but I don't think there's been enough Clown Hunter to know if.
No, and then there's like
just Ed Lorgy.
I hate Punchline. I can't.
Punchline's too dry. I mean, Miracle Molly had the concept idea of being cool, but I don't like it as a character.
Yeah. And there's like Promiscuous Time Traveler Kyle showed me like he gave me. I have to find it. I haven't read it yet. He gave me a book that's literally got the entire Miracle Molly design. Like it's flat out stolen from like 10 years earlier.
That's interesting.
Like and it's not like even that is close. I'm like it's got the same character design from head to toe as this indie book. And
interesting.
But yeah,
I'd like to see that. Yeah. Shoot me a picture of that.
I will if I can find it. I haven't. I know about which stack it's in, so I gotta hunt for it. But yeah, and then Ghost Maker,
worst character ever. Like, hey, this guy might be blind. Just kidding. He's definitely not blind. He just likes blindfolds. Also, he's trying to get with Harley Quinn, which was weird. I did like how Harley Quinn is good. Like, I don't know. Stephanie Phillips' run of Harley Quinn has been pretty solid, at least for me personally. I think people.
I couldn't stand Riley Rossmo's art on the first.
That's the only book I think Riley Rossmo's art works on because of like how it is, but I can get why people would not.
Yeah, I don't care for their storytelling, like the way they I don't know what the way they like do the panels. It bugged me in Cowboy Ninja Viking, and it really bugged me in Harley, just the transitions and stuff, and then the overuse of the duotones, and I'm like, no, I'm done. I can't do it. And I like quirky art, but just not that. I have my own. I'm picky. I'm cranky. Anyway,
I've definitely slowed down.
No, this is fine. This is great. This is
so. We got some Miles Morales. So I think Brian had said, "Did somebody say Spidey?" So yeah, we're talking Spidey right now.
Yeah,
the Clone Saga. Yeah, my daughter loves Miles Morales, which is very hard and sad to like think that I have to maybe buy that first appearance.
I might still be open to trading for the second print if you need it slabbed. I know you have it now, but like.
Yeah, and I mean, who knows? I've still got that.
Yeah, because I did end up with the first print slab, so I'm like, I'll probably hold on.
Oh, nice. How'd you get that?
I won it raw from that Spider-Man booth back when they were giving away things before they went to whatnot and abandoned everybody. JPG abandoned everybody. No,
I miss it so much, but I get it. I get it, right? Like,
I mean,
you do you and make your money. But I wish that he would still do like keep Monday, right?
I wish even like if it's a monthly thing. Or like or like one farewell. Just one farewell spot's all I really need. Like I want closure. I feel like I got dumped, and I don't know why. But I don't necessarily need to know why. But like it's like
it'd be nicer if you did.
Yeah, exactly. So, but that I believe is the origin of Cheetah, and it's a George Perez, and so.
Yeah, this is sweet. I've actually been looking at this has been a book that I've been looking for in the wild because like my daughter does like Wonder Woman and most Wonder Woman keys are unobtainable, but this one is one that's like I don't like Wonder Woman as much as maybe I like Spider-Gwen. So it's I've
heard really good things about the New 52 Wonder Woman run.
Oh yeah, with Cliff Chang's art.
Yeah, I think.
Does Brian Azzarello write that?
I think Azzarello wrote it. Yeah, and I heard it was really good.
Which is weird because I think he's usually kind of edgelordy.
Yeah, I think he just reintroduced like the Pantheon and stuff and made it more politics focused on that. It's on my long list of things to read on DC online or DCU. Like I just
I
can't.
hate that app so much though.
Of the 3 comic book apps I have, I think it's the best, but I don't know if it's
what is the other 2?
And the Marvel Unlimited and then the Comixology, which I can't.
Oh, do you use iOS or Android?
iOS.
Okay. That's where I think it differs.
Okay. Yeah, probably.
Because I think it's awful on Android.
Oh, see, I think it's great on. I think it's the only one that's actually functional, really.
On iPhone.
On iOS, yeah, because the
Yeah
Comixology is a nightmare on iOS.
Do you ever use Hoopla with your library?
I probably should, because I should just Yeah.
I mean, you get 10 credits, and it's like I've never used 10 credits. I also will check out Saga.
Oh yeah, that's what actually. Ooh, that's a good idea, because
Saga comes out you could read Saga at like midnight, I think.
Oh, they get new stuff on there? I thought it was. I guess it makes sense.
But that's the thing. So I get 10 credits a month.
Yeah.
I'm using 1 credit to read the Saga digital
Saga.
copy because Saga is not a book that Image releases with their previews.
Oh yeah. I just want to read the back issues. I need to. I read the first chunk of Saga, so I know, and then I stopped around issue 20, and so I need to read 20 to 53 or whatever.
54, yeah, and that's what. So I checked it all out during like mid-pandemic, and they have the hardcovers, so you only have to check out 3. And at this point, they might even have the compendium. The compendium wasn't a thing at that point.
Yeah,
but they might have that, so you can just check out everything.
I think I'm a member of Hoop. I think I have to just go stop in my library.
So if you have a local library, just download the Hoopla app, and then it'll ask for your library card.
Oh, nice. Yeah, there you go.
And then you might have to create a username. I don't even.
Yeah, or go back and ask my library what my library number is. So yeah, there you go. So that is one that you mentioned you wanted when I got it, and I was like, all right. And then and that was before Unboxing Match became a thing. It needs a pressing. It is not in fantastic shape.
But I mean, it's a toy. So Bearded Comic Bro and I have the same like ideology. I don't know how to say that word. About what we want to do for our Batman run.
Yeah.
And it's just get the books and then replace them. So this is funny with this one. I got the not the Toys R Us. What do I have? I have the Pizza Hut, like Bride of Batman one, and this is the Toys R Us, so it's the first Mr. Freeze. Yeah. But this is like the first reprint of this book too. Yeah. And this one still is like one of those books where it's like, if you try and buy this on eBay, you're gonna pay $20 at least.
Yeah. And I figured, I'm like, I knew you had your eye on it, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna not give him just 100% hot garbage, So.
Well, thank you.
I mean, mostly, but.
Well, I mean, some people might count this as hard garbage.
No, and again, that's one where I think you appreciate it more than I did.
Oh, hell yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah, I got that in a mystery box. I think the art on it is great. I love Rorschach as a character. However, we disagree on
our love for Tom King.
Yeah, so I like some of his stuff. I like his Vision maxi series quite a bit, and it's just kind of, he's really hit or miss for me. So, and I'll probably end up getting that new one he's doing with the Misfit toys from DC. I can't remember.
Misfit toys,
or the like a bunch of D-list characters that he's doing another maxi series with.
Oh yeah, have you been reading Human Target?
No, I will read it when it's done. I've also learned that, how you would say, like you were talking about Swamp Thing and like.
Yeah, a lot of people like to trade weighted stuff, and it is.
Yeah, I think it's a lot more stomachable because I don't think his forte is writing month to month. I think he's got a grand plan, and then I think that like he's not great at cutoff points, and he's not great at like pacing it for 12 issues. So.
And that's the thing. I think he does it well in certain books. Like I think like Mr. Miracle was really good to read weekly.
Sure.
Or monthly, right?
And I actually I liked his take on Mr. Miracle. I read it, but I read it as a whole. So yeah.
Like issue 6 of Mr. Miracle is probably like one of my favorite issues of comics.
I don't remember. I don't. Yeah,
that's the one.
I read it. See, I read it as a whole. I'm like, okay, yeah.
Yeah. They're storming the castle, and they're just talking about like living room furniture.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
So it's just
that's
like
this
whole thing where,
yeah,
it's a very like, they're storming into wherever. What is it? Where does Darkseid live? Apocalypse.
Oh, yeah, I don't. Whatever. Yeah, sure.
Or whatever. Yeah, and they're storming into there, and they're just killing everyone. Well, I mean, beating everyone up, and they're just like talking about like, well, do you think the living room would be better if we did this?
Yeah. I some of his takes are interesting. Like I liked his Mr. Miracle. I just hated Adam Strange, and I really didn't care for the Rorschach. So, you know, I probably should reread the Adam Strange Collected, but like,
I liked Adam Strange. I liked Rorschach a lot too, but it's just kind of weird, right? I mean, that's what he does weird too, and like sometimes you read stuff and you're like the first issue of ASM, I read that and I was like, this is weird, and I don't know that it's supposed to be weird.
Oh,
but
see,
I also feel like,
yeah. And I like the first issue of ASM. I've not been reading any of it beforehand. I didn't read it.
Right, and that's where I'm like, did I miss like 50 years of Spider-Man?
No, that's Zeb Wells. And I think like I really enjoyed his Hellions run. That's the only X book I read last year. Like was Hellions, because the rest of them bugged the shit out of me. So yeah, I see what you're saying, but it doesn't always work. But I'm along for the Spider-Man mystery mostly because it looks like they're putting Peter Parker through the ringer and nobody likes him. And I think that's when Spider-Man's at his best, is when he's down and out on his luck, and not when he's like a billionaire running a company or that kind of crap. So
yeah, for sure. So. And all right, we're at the final book.
Oh yeah, speaking of, I don't know if you have that, but I'm going to guess no, because
I definitely do not. This is the first. Oh, I do. Well, so I have this book.
Yes,
but I don't have.
That was a C2E2 exclusive, and I know you were not able to make it.
Oh no, did you? So did you grab this from C2E2?
I got it at C2E2. Yeah.
Awesome.
So,
was it at the DC booth?
No. I don't think so. No, it was at Midtown. I can't remember. Midtown, maybe. I don't remember where I grabbed it from, but
SK Skin variant.
Scon variant. Scon.
Okay.
My handwriting's awful. But all right. Now, do you have a favorite comic book movie? Yeah, why not? I know it's a different medium, but like a lot of people are fans of when they take one thing and make it into something else.
Yeah, it's hard because I haven't watched this movie in like probably 10 years. But I would say Sin City.
Oh yeah, it's a good one.
Up there, right? Because like that was just like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah, I'll give you that. And like, talk about a director that's really hit or miss for me is Robert Rodriguez. But
yeah, and like that's the thing too. Like V for Vendetta was great, and I rewatched it, and it does not age well.
Is that's not is that Rodriguez? No, that's
no, that's just another comic book based movie.
Yeah, that's Snyder, isn't it?
Is it?
I don't know. It seems like it would be.
I don't know. I'm not a Snyder guy, so I don't really know.
No, me neither. Like, I don't. Everyone else had a hard on for the Snyder cut of Justice League. I'm like, it's really long. It's all right.
I never finished it, so I don't even know.
Oh, spoilers! It's really long.
Yeah. Well, it's just kept being like, why does Aquaman have to be in slow-mo so much?
Yeah. Sin City's a good choice. Yeah, I need to rewatch it. I just have never. I don't know. I mean, I know I've seen it probably twice, but it's been years. My favorite, I think, is probably, and this is cheating because it's not a superhero movie, but it's probably Ghost World, which I love.
I still need to read that book.
Oh, I think you would dig it. Like, have you read any Dan Clowes at all? Like an 8-Ball or anything that he's done?
I don't know the answer to that.
I've
read like a lot of the like more that style stuff. Is who does like I read Sabrina, which I don't think is him.
I don't think so. But if you get a chance, you can probably find it fairly cheap. I would start either with Ghost World, because you get it collected in a trade paperback pretty cheaply, or probably Hoopla it, or the Death Ray, which is another one that I think you probably enjoy.
Let me see. I can check Hoopla right
now.
For this. So I did tell you this off air, but I did. There's 2 books that I set aside and I've lost in my comic collection, so they'll eventually get to you.
Road to Perdition. I never read the comic, Brother John. Road to Perdition. I like the movie well enough.
I bought the graphic novel because it was like $5 at a store or at a con, and then I realized it was the second one because apparently there's multiples of that.
I did. Hell, hey.
They have the Ghost World soundtrack.
Oh yeah, Ghost World. I also really liked I can't think of the name of it now. The guy where they have to go like the X's of. You have to go like.
Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah, Scott Pilgrim. Yeah, Jesus, I'm having a brain fart. So.
Yeah, I mean all the Batman movies I mostly like.
Yeah. Hopefully, this is the worst box I've gotten. Hang on, I'm going to embiggen myself.
Oh, did I say that there?
Yeah. There you go, people. We'll see. We'll
I've
see.
included one thing that I think no one else has included.
I think you're right here, which already makes it the best box. If it's a, I'm going to start with the back here because, I mean, clearly the best thing about it are the cool stickers that I just dropped all over the floor. I love your logo, by the way.
So if you've heard, there's this podcast. It's called Girls Talk Comics. If you're on Twitter, I'm not sure if you're on Twitter because I'm very rarely on Twitter.
I'm very rarely on there. But
they have a bigger presence on there. Erin, one of the hosts, her thing was intentionally bad art, and I commissioned her to do a picture of us.
That's awesome. All right, see, this is already the best box ever because it stars the greatest team in all of sports. What's up, Tylox? How you doing? Welcome. Although you guys, according to the pundits, the Lions had a hell of a draft.
Oh yeah, they gave him an A at Bleacher Report, and Bleacher Report's pretty. Which I don't know, man. They drafted a Michigan dude, which like already I'm not super into, but obviously he was a good pick. But I hate that it's him. And like trading up for a wide receiver is wild to me, especially when you have like, I don't know,
there was such
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
There was such a run of them in that draft that like and you know, like somebody Dan Orlovsky gave the Packers like an F+ or whatever. Yeah. So like whatever.
I wish you would have traded
shit about any of the draft stuff until they actually play. Yeah. So. Oh, nice. The Frogman
specifically is due to that corner thing, like
the corner box.
What does it say down there?
30th anniversary, the Incredible Hulk. Oh, our editor-in-chief warning: the story is funny on purpose. Beware.
Yeah, I've just had that book, and it's like funny.
That's
and
awesome.
I know that you like wild things. So
I owned this back in the like originally when it came out, but I've never. All my original books got waterlogged and damaged or sold or whatever. So I'm glad to actually have this, including the ridiculous frogmen that are nothing.
Yeah, which they even have a toy.
Of course, everything has a toy
for Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, Jim Shooter made sure that happened. So, ooh, heck yeah.
I didn't know. This is just some random. I know you'd mentioned Constantine.
And I love Constantine. Like I think Constantine when he's done well, and I've not read the Mike Casey run of Constantine. So, full disclosure, it's probably going to be in the digital reading for me. But like, yeah, I think when Constantine's done great. He's everything I want in a comic character. He's kind of an asshole, and he's not the strongest, but he's the trickiest son of a bitch. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I want. Like, you know. Like I like the goofy assholes, which if you look on Pornhub, it's a whole different thing.
What's your favorite Constantine run? Because I don't know if I've ever read any Constantine besides Justice League Dark.
I actually liked anything like the very first run, and then the whole like when Jamie Delaney took over, and then but I also like when Garth gave him cancer and stuff like that. Garth Ennis is a real hit or miss for me, but the original Vertigo run is pretty damn good. Like honestly, yeah.
And that was probably before Garth was like.
Yeah, I mean, Garth was still. I mean, they were still like Preacher was out right around them, so he had some of that in him.
Yeah,
but I think he used Preacher to get rid of all his
weird things. Like,
yeah. Speaking of weird assholes, there's Arseface. Anyways,
yeah, or like,
nice. Good.
I don't know if
Azzarello.
Yeah. Brian Azzarello. Yeah, more edgelordy guys. I mean, which is weird because. I think Garth Ennis is Garth Ennis is a good overall dude.
Yeah, that's we had like an Instagram chat about this. How like you'd think of all the people that would be an asshole in real life, it'd be Garth Ennis. But by every account, he's pretty nice and like respectful and like fights for people's rights and like is equal opportunist and everything. And then there's Warren Ellis.
Yeah,
who you'd think would be a nice guy, but is just a raging asshole.
Well, I mean, even some of the people who he's done terrible things to have came out and said the hard thing about him is that he's both, right? Because he is a great person, I think, for certain people.
Sure.
And even the people that he's hurt, he's done great things for, but he's also a terrible person in that respect.
Well, that's kind of like what's his nuts, the Miramax guy, the movie guy too. Like he. Help make some great movies. But, I mean, Harvey Weinstein was just a fucking monster to some people, and So, yeah, it's like, yeah. I had this back in the day too, the sampler.
I don't know if you know, like, if I didn't know if you were a huge Sandman fan, but there is a 7-page Sandman that is not in anything else.
Oh, really? I didn't. I mean, I know I read it when it came out, but I don't remember it. Like,
And I think it's about death, maybe. I mean, she's on the cover. Awesome. I just remember I grabbed that and I was like, I don't even like Sandman, so I don't know why I have this, and nice. I just assume maybe you would enjoy it.
You're not a Sandman guy, really?
Okay, no. I mean, I like Sandman, but it's like so hard to read Sandman.
That's fair. That was another one I caught, like, not right when it first came out, so I never had the first print or anything when it came out, but like, I got the a collection right. Like, I was probably I missed it by about 20 issues, which back in the day is not that many. They had a collection, and I read the collection. I was like, and it was unlike anything I'd ever read, even Watchmen. Right. Like, and I didn't when I was reading. I read probably Watchmen and the Sandman right around the same time, and I gravitated to the Sandman more because it was like a fairy tale, and it's goth, and I mean very goth, but it was also like. It didn't depend upon your knowledge of like past comics to get all of it. Whereas like Watchmen, if you don't understand like that he's playing with all these archetypes, you kind of miss a lot of the story. And then I'm also like, I'm not reading the full page thing about pirate ships and shit.
Oh yeah, that was awful.
So like but I love the Sandman. Yeah, and I still really like it. And it's one of my favorite overall runs of comics. I think as a whole body. I mean, Gaiman gets a little Gaiman-y. But
I'm okay. And that's a hard thing. I love Gaiman. Like, he's probably one of my favorite authors. Yeah. But I also like don't know that I love any of his books. But fair. I like reading all of them.
Yeah, like I've read like American Gods is where I was realized I'm like, I don't love everything this guy does. Like, it was good. Like,
but I gave that to my dad for his birthday one year. And he was like, I don't know if I liked that book or did not like that book, but I think it was pretty good. I was like, okay.
Yeah, that's about how I felt about it too. Your dad and I probably agree on that one. So nice, hell yeah.
Yeah, that's just a random issue I had, and I was
vampires.
I think you're actually, and you're collecting all of Werewolf by Night, right?
I'm working on it slowly. I mean, obviously, I don't have the 32, although I'm working on that. And
well, yeah, you are.
Yeah, I'm hoping. We'll see. We'll see if it comes to pass. Spoilers, people. No, yeah, that all depends upon something else happening. But I think werewolves. I like the tortured hero, and that's the werewolf. It was really unevenly written, and the character's name is one of the worst in comics, Jack Russell. But
he's also a terrier.
Yeah, exactly. But still, I just like the fact that he's not really a hero, and I dig on all that. And I think Marvel needs more of that. If they're they should go back to some of the. They should learn from their Silver and Bronze Age stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of. Well, what's up, Chris? How you doing? Have you filled out your ballot yet for the Comic Book Community Awards with a self-promotion? Aha! There we go. Nice. I actually did not even have the facsimile, so now I have the facsimile.
Oh, that's awesome.
Work is done. First appearance. I'm going off air. I'm retiring.
I've gotten like 3 or 4 of those just because I buy those. Just because the weird thing about those facsimiles is you buy them for cover price and then you can sell them for $20 later down the road. But I'd rather have somebody, which I'm glad you don't have that you can get this, and now you didn't get one.
Yeah.
Because I bought one from my shop. I got one from Gmart, and then any shop I went to within that month stretch, if they had a copy of it, I'd grab it just because it's like for $4, it's worth it.
Oh yeah. I missed this one because I'm like, I just want the original. That's what that was my mindset. And when this came out, but I've learned since then, I'm like, I can flip these, and because you just buy for $4, wait a month, and they're $20 books. Which
I feel bad. My shop has True Believers that they still sell for $1, and I rummage through them and then put them on eBay.
Well, you should also look for Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man #6 this week when you go, so you can get the first appearance of El Muerte or La Muerte, whatever. Anyways.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, Spider-Verse 6 and Friendly Neighborhood or issue
That's
6.
The Bad Bunny guy, right?
Yeah. Issue 6 is all you need to know of every series. Did you ever read this? It's not very good.
I had not read it.
They retconned the Moon Knights since then, because at first, in this show, they were just It's like, we found this mercenary and gave him this costume, and now he's gonna go fight the werewolf for us because he's gonna win. Like, that was his origin. Like, some dudes just hired a mercenary and made him dress in all white for some reason.
Dope origin.
Yeah. Ah, yeah. Oh, you're hitting my jam here. I love all these Swamp Things too, and I've not read this one either. Like, I've read, I read the Alan Moore stuff, and I read some of the others, and I'm reading the new one, which I really like. Which you and I were chatting too. Like, it probably is better as a collection. I think Rom V is another one that, like,
I think Rom V is too smart for me sometimes. So if I like sit and not think about it, it gets worse.
Yeah, I think having a month off in between some of the stuff makes it tricky, like, too. And some of the newer stuff like that, like the We Lives, I'm gonna have to probably reread when it all gets finished too, because I'm not enjoying it right now.
I've read one issue of We Live.
I like the first arc a lot. I think the first issue is probably the weakest, which is not a great way to start a series. But
yeah, that was it. I read that issue and I was like, this is not a thing that I care for, because it seemed like a coming of age tale about young kids going through, and it was post-apocalyptic, and I'm like, there's so much terrible post-apocalyptic. Also, this is a coming of age story, which isn't always my jam. Yeah. So like, I'm just gonna hard pass on this, and it was like literally everyone's favorite book. But I still stand by that I didn't love that first issue, so I'm fine with not.
I get it. It's just after the first issue, it zigged instead of zagged, and that's when it and then it consistently did that through the first arc, where like every time you're like, oh, it's gonna, like, you think it's gonna do one thing, because it does set up. They have a very predictable sounding setup, like you just described, and then it just it goes in a whole different direction, which I loved, but it's not for everybody too.
Yeah, and then I think I sold the first issue on eBay for $100.
Yeah, I mean that I would too, if you're like, because it's cooled off now. Because speaking of, hell yeah, Thor.
Yeah, my shop has so many newsstand versions of Thor. I don't even know how they got them. Like, somebody must have collected only newsstand versions of Thor.
On this one, I love the Walt Simonson run, which is like smack in the middle of too, because like I loved his art, I loved his like design sense, and I love that, like, the wackiness of it. Hang on, I have to, like, sorry, I'm very popular. Anyways, I dug it, like everything about it, because like, it was 80s and there's cheesy, over the top, but like, he had Thor fighting the Midgard serpent, and then turned him into a frog, and then like, it's all these wacky adventures that, if you look back, they're probably not fantastic. But
it's so weird. So like, I mean, Marvel Secret War is one of those books that I reference that everyone should read, and it's not even that good of a book. Yeah. But there's so much stuff that it did, and it was so many people's like big book. Like Nick from Comic Burrito, I've been telling him for years to read it, because my friend Steve and I read that book one summer, and I was like, every Marvel book references Secret Wars at some point. It seems like any Marvel book that wants to show some clout references Secret War, which is,
considering it was written just to sell toys, is kind of amazing.
It also is like some of the best covers of all time.
Oh yeah, I mean, like people have swiped those covers, like the Hulk holding up the mountain. I mean, that was technically a riff off the Jim Steranko, like, and King Size, but still. And then the Doom on
the Dr. Doom is my favorite cover.
Yeah, it's a great one.
Of them. Yeah, and I think that there's like a few rap albums that have swiped that even.
I'm sure, yeah.
And like, I mean, there's a Spider-Man issue where he's just standing there. Like, everyone swipes that one.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the black suit, which just did everything, which they didn't know what the hell they were doing with it, but
hey, it was funny.
Nice.
Yeah. I know nothing about that book, but
I know it's sci-fi, and I know it's DC and Silver Age, and that's all I need to know. I'm pretty sure these were all single issue stuff where it didn't really, like, it was that era where they would just tell like one wacky story every issue, which I dig, because like, you don't need to like, there's no main characters, there's no like overarching plot, there's just weird ass shit like this, which is
dudes picking up cards.
Yeah, and I'm guessing there's probably 2 or 3 short stories in here, because they would cram a lot into these, and I love them. A lot of them are not good. A lot of the interior art's not good, but like you get these covers and you just get the kind of silliness, and it tickles the one solitary feeling I've left in my heart.
Well, I'm glad that it does. So I don't know if you know this. The Comic Signal is the shop that I go to, and I met.
Okay, I did not. I was just.
I met Chip there. Yeah.
I just made Chip. I just wanted Chip to feel like somebody was paying.
It's a family-owned comic shop, which is pretty sweet.
Nice. I do have this one, but I don't think I have it in this nice condition either, which is awesome. And I need to read this because. Have you ever watched the movie?
Yeah. So my wife and I watched that about 5 or 6 years ago.
It's kind of boring.
So this is the thing, right? You watch that movie and today, and you're like, people think this is a great movie, but if you would have watched that movie when it came out, it was groundbreaking, right?
Sure.
So I mean, that's the thing. I like visually, it isn't outdated, which is good because there's a lot of sci-fi that does seem terrible when you watch it now. Yes. But yeah, you're right. It's boring. The plot is fairly like guessable, you know. But like, it's hard.
I'm not knocking it as a work of art. I'm just it just doesn't like. If you want a good sci-fi romp, this is not it. This is like humanity and robots.
Yeah, I'll never watch that movie again, probably.
But I want to. I've never actually read it. I've owned the issue, but I've never read it. I wanted to see if they made it exciting. I guess it's kind of like, or how closely they stuck to it.
Yeah, I was at my dad lives in the middle of nowhere, and there's a comic shop near the Walmart there. And
I think I got a copy from you. Oh yeah, never mind. Sorry. Go on.
He also gave you a copy of that?
I can't remember. Somebody else in one of the boxes. Comic shop in the middle of nowhere. Your dad was. Now, did you?
Oh yeah.
Have you been reading comics your entire life? And like, is your dad who got you into it? Is that how it?
No. So my mom got me into comics because I didn't like to read as a kid. So she thought that I was going to. Oh, that's another one. I set another book aside.
Oh, yeah.
And this story, eventually, I would have told as you reached it, but I'll just tell you the story then. But my mom took me to a comic book shop because she was like, maybe he'll read comic books. So at the time, I was 9.
Yeah.
It was 1993. Maybe I was 8 or 9. And Ren and Stimpy had comic books. So I got a bunch of Ren and Stimpy comic books. And like, I've been slowly trying to collect Ren and Stimpy comic books. The hard thing is I started right before COVID. And then everyone was like, I liked Ren and Stimpy as a kid. These are no longer dollar books. But
talk about the COVID changed everything with the collector's market on everything, like graded video games,
yeah, that's the weirdest thing for me. Graded video games, only due to the fact that like, I get it. There's the same debate that like
with comics, I know where you're heading. Right? You can't play them,
but like. The box art for most video games isn't really that. I mean, maybe like old NES games it was good, but like Nintendo 64 game is just like an image. Like Super Mario is just an image from the game.
Oh no, I think arguably Atari had the best box art, the 2600, because like there they had such shitty graphics. They actually hired a painter for all their box art. So like, oh yeah, we did make Missile Command actually look fun.
I was looking to buy a graded video game just for the sake of it. The cheapest one on eBay, I think, is $600.
Which game was it, or just any?
Yeah, just any. That was the cheapest game. I was looking for no game in particular. I literally looked up graded video game and sorted lowest plus shipping.
I tried winning one and whatnot last night. Not buying, but literally just winning because there's an auction. The guy that like for like 3 hours is just giving away games. I won a Game Boy game. It was not graded. I've never heard of it, but like he gave away like a 9.8 Paper Mario graded.
Oh, nice. That is a good one too.
Which is like apparently according to the eBay, it's like an $800 game. And so like I'll hit the enter giveaway button while I'm doing other stuff. And like just guys, if you're not doing that and whatnot. And I get you can be kind of an asshole about it, but it was literally just a giveaway show. So I was like, all right, I'll sit.
I mean, I do it. Yeah, we all do it.
Yeah, I mean, if I win comics, I try and buy stuff from them if they have stuff I like. Because once you win something, the shipping is just $1 for anything else.
Right, yeah, that's what I'll do too.
But
that's definitely kind of beat up, and I don't even know if you like Daredevil, but
I like Daredevil too. Yeah, I mean, I mean. Honestly, Marvel, the older Marvel heroes, it's hard to very few I dislike. But
yeah, the hard thing with like that kind of book is like I don't know how to ever sell that book.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's a decent. I mean, it's a decent copy, but it's definitely not the best. But somebody might love it more than I
That's
do. I
cool. And
don't
it's got
really.
Scorpion, which is this is the first appearance of Virus. Not really. It's not, but yeah. Donny Cates.
Oh,
yeah, he turned.
That was a joke that went over my head.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. So, War Machine, I can't remember. I'll hunt it down later. And it's just honestly, it popped up in my notifications, and I entered it, and the guy was just giving away shit all night long. So I really don't remember. Like the whatnot gets excessive with the over notifications sometimes. But if I had nothing going on, I'm like, my phone's in front of me. I'm like, let's see what that's about. Nice. I've never read these either, but I do dig
Silver Age.
I dig the Silver Age.
The beginning of Silver Age.
Yeah, this is. Oh yeah,
I think that was 56.
Wow, yeah.
Because I was looking up because I didn't know if that was Golden Age or Silver Age. I don't know a lot of Silver Age.
I'm sure it's not at all racist and ages very well.
Oh yeah, definitely, probably.
Because they're getting attacked by the redcoats, but they're really scared of the Indians. that's comics for you. But yes.
Yeah.
How did you end up with? Did you just like random purchase, or did you win this?
It was in a mystery box. It was like the hit of a mystery box, and it's like cool.
Speaking of which, folks, if you ever want to be on the show and have stuff like this that you don't want that I dig, come on Unboxing Match. I'm booking you.
And that's why you like you're specifically was like anything gold or silver.
Yeah, honestly, like
weird. And it's like okay, well.
I also figure like if I don't because I mean I don't necessarily love this, but. I mean, this is great, but I don't collect it. But I also am like, I'm doing this now, so I eventually will find somebody else that does. And so it's kind of like the pay it forward mystery box. Keep swapping the stuff, but I'm digging everything out here. I've never heard of this one at all either, but it's got Beta Ray on it, so that's all I need.
So this was I won this in a mystery box too, and this is one that I wanted to keep. But it's Star Master. You said no '90s Marvel, but this is a Beta Ray Bill team up book that came out in the '90s.
All right, fair. Yeah.
I had to include it.
Oh yeah. I mean,
what is it? It's Quasar,
Silver Surfer, it's Silver Surfer. Bill. Yeah, and it's a very edgelordy Silver Surfer going on right there too. So
yeah, I mean, look at Beta Ray Bill. Look at did Rob Liefeld drive that?
Yeah, '90s just did not give a fuck about proportions. Like they're like, nah, we just want muscles and hatch marks. This is nothing about that physique makes any sense. I mean,
but yeah, this is a weird Beta Ray Bill mini team up book.
Yeah, I definitely did not have this one. I don't hold on to it. So, but, it's got the '90s Marvel logo, which didn't last very long either. Like that.
Dude, that's so gross looking.
I know it's awful. Kind of reminds me of the NASA logo, which is not a good logo, but it's still.
Or like, what was that like French children's book, Little Prince or something with a star? It looks like it reminds me of that.
Yeah, that I can see that. Nice. Hell yeah.
So this too, that's a newsstand one of that.
Yeah.
I think at one point you said you loved Howard the Duck.
I do
think
love
this
Howard the Duck
might be a book that was like weirdly from my childhood too that I just acquired.
Yeah. I love Howard the Duck for a lot of reasons. He's just a goofy character. His first appearance of like boobies in comics too, and like is the magazine, and not first, but like in Marvel comics, and there's a whole big thing with the creator and like suing Marvel and like the backstory.
Oh yeah, who created that?
Steve Gerber.
Yeah, I was reading something. Did he do something else? Like, did he do a big indie book?
He's done some stuff. The thing I remember from
Destroyer Duck. He did. What was that? Like, what was the Howard the Duck book where he was like a murderer?
Is it Destroyer Duck?
Destroyer Duck.
Yeah, because
did somebody give you Destroyer Duck on the show?
No, because that first appearance of that is actually pretty valuable now because it's got the first appearance of Gru in it too. Gru the Wanderer, which I had it at one point before the show, and like I sold it before Gru got hot because Gru everything it's like and before I even knew the story, it was all. I think that book was created to fund his legal fight against Marvel for ownership of Howard the Duck, and so Marvel's kind of an asshole company, but Howard the Duck, and he's just another sarcastic asshole. And the movie is not good. It is an awful movie. But
that was like the first comic book movie, right?
It's one of them, man. I kind of love
Marvel movie. Was Chip Zdarsky's run on that good?
It's not bad. Yeah, it's not fantastic, but like it's funny. It's Chip. It's meta.
I mean, he created Gwenpool, which is a character I don't love.
Yeah,
but some people love it.
Yeah, that was before I think Chip really found his stride with writing, but he was not bad. And then, hell yeah, speaking of newsstand, Throg.
Yeah, it was funny because you said something about, yeah, this was weird. They turned him into a frog at one point, and I was almost like, hey, guess what?
I love it. Yeah, this is great. This might even there's a chance I need to check because when the price change, this might actually even be a Canadian variant. I don't know. Because the 75 centers in the 330s are Canadian, but they might have upped the price.
So I know too, there was some weird with like some Batman stuff, and I was talking to my shop owner about this because he had 2 copies of a Batman book, and I was like, why is this one a different price than this one? And he was telling me that in the like 80s and 90s, Marvel and DC were testing out in certain areas.
Okay, whether or not
they could sell it for more. And like West Michigan was one of those weird test areas. So I think some of the stores in our area was that.
That's
like
awesome.
The general, like, you know, like Chicago to like probably Milwaukee, like that circle, you know, of Lake Michigan there. Like that was kind of a test bed for that. So he just said that there was a good chance that you could find a lot of those.
That's awesome.
In this
I know they did that in the 70s too, because some of the Star Wars, there's some variants of like some of the 30-cent, 35-cent variants that are really rare and worth a lot of money too. So it's not the first time they pulled those shenanigans of testing to see what they can get away with. And now it's just, can we charge $5 for things printed on really crappy paper? Yes, we can.
Dude, Marvel books are so terrible right now.
Yeah, they are. Are you I know you read a lot of indies and stuff lately. Do you of the mainstream stuff? Do you have any books you're actually liking, like Marvel or DC?
I mean, it's hard, right? Like I like Miss Marvel. I liked her newest book run. Like, but like, is that book great? Probably not. I just like that it's a character that's kind of cool and they're doing different things. Like, I don't know. A lot of people hated on the most recent Champion runs that Marvel did that was like 35 issues or whatever. But I liked it because it's like, here are a bunch of characters that they're not necessarily like forcing down your throat. You can take this or you don't have to take it, and they do what they want. But I thought it was cool that like a younger take of characters, they're solving. I mean, I don't know. Like the thing I hate all the time is like, you know, you get these like books, like even like, you know, Scott Snyder's Justice League, right? We're running into the biggest problems of all, and how did it resolve? I don't even really know. Just like a few pages into that, something resolved. You know, whereas like they're using actual like abstract thinking to like solve problems and doing stuff that is kind of cool. Where it's like, I'm okay with taking the flaws in writing because they're doing stuff that's different that I think is cool. I mean, I really liked Thor, but around issue 22 was when there was that hiccup.
Oh yeah.
And so I have all of them. I've just been behind.
Yeah, it all the Donny Cates stuff. It's not bad. Although Nick Klein is drawing Thor looking very sad and mopey, which I'm like, oh, it's Thor.
I'm trying to think of like other DC books that are like, I read mostly DC. Nightwing's been good. I just got behind on Nightwing. I've liked Son of Kal-El, but I've gotten behind on Son of Kal-El.
Yeah, I mean, that was one I just wasn't reading. I picked up the big controversial issue. I'm like, oh, people, you're up in arms over nothing. And even if you're up in like, we could talk about politics and humanity forever, but like,
I'm trying to think. I mean, I've liked most of Harley Quinn, but I'm even behind on Harley Quinn. I know a lot of people like Robin. I wasn't in love with Robin. I've been hating Batman. I've liked Detective.
I liked Robin for what it was, and again, it's probably like similar to the Champions run. It's not necessarily great. It's got its flaws,
and I think the thing that gets me a lot of the time is so many people talk about like stuff like this is so this, right? And it's just kind of like everyone seemed to love Robin, where I'm like, is this, maybe I don't think this is, and maybe just that book is good, right? It's subpar, but like me thinking that it's good and subpar means that like, and other people loving it, are we different, you know?
I don't know. I'm trying to make a channel based on my cranky ass opinions, so I'm not really the right one to ask, but yeah.
Which is weird because we align like so well and so different.
which is great. Yeah, I mean, and I don't expect everybody to agree with me. That makes for a boring world. I just want the dialogue of like of talking about why you liked stuff or why you hated stuff too, more than like as long as people think about why they read it and are okay with the flaws, it's fine. And you don't even have to be like there's different books that are for different purposes. Like fluff books are fine. Like like what you like. I'm not trying to tell you not to. It's just
Firepower is the perfect fluff book, right?
Firepower is awesome. Yeah,
I just read a bunch of Tom King. I'm getting pretty sad. Like, let's read one issue of Firepower that takes me 4 minutes.
Honestly, and like you could bang through the first 15, 20 issues of Firepower in probably like 2 hours. It's a very quick read.
Bruce from Bruce and Stephanie Comics is like, I've only read the first issue of Firepower. I'm like, dude, you could literally catch up, I think, in less than 2 hours.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't know how quick you read, but I would say I'm a fairly slow comic book reader. Like, I average about 15 minutes a book.
Yeah. And I think
but it's only because I have kids, right?
Yeah.
And it's harder. But like, so greatest thing.
And it's you're right. It's an action fluff book, but I think it's almost flawless in what it does. Like, because Samney's art and the action sequences, they're great. You're never confused with what's going on in the action sequences. He's got such a great sense of like shadow and line work and simplicity without adding all this detail, but it's not overly cartoony, so it's not on that side of things either. It just kind of fits the story and the characters, and he's got everything you want. It's like, oh, Cursor's sudden but inevitable betrayal. A couple issues later, oh no, you were right all along. Gotcha. But like,
here's a sword that has snakes.
Yeah. Snakes. Yeah, I don't know. And now it's probably gonna turn out the snakes were good, but you know.
A book I forgot, Jed McKay's Moon Knight.
Yeah.
Up until issue like 9 or whatever, when Ghostmaker in the Moon Knight world took over.
Oh yeah.
Hunter's Moon.
Yeah.
Like, I love that. And I mean, I haven't read issue 10, so I think that was issue 9. But yeah, that's been solid.
Yeah, I do wish, and this is just a personal Moon Knight thing, is they're not really been dealing with the social identity disorder at all, or that aspect of the different characters of Moon Knight. Whereas the show was maybe going too hard in the other direction, but the comics just not dealing with it.
Did you read Jeff Lemire's run though?
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Yeah, because like that I think they did a great job. So for me, as somebody that was my intro to Moon Knight.
Yeah,
it's kind of nice to see other sides of Moon Knight too, I guess.
Yeah, and I read Warren Ellis's, and I actually liked Warren Ellis, Garbage Human Being, and I liked his run, and that
it's only 5 issues too, right?
Yeah, that's very short.
I've been considering reading it, but I also like.
If you have the digital, or you read it on Hoopla, because like it goes from that, then it says, then there's I can't remember. There's 3 writers. I can't remember which writers are all on.
Brian Michael Bendis does it at some point.
Yeah, his is awful. His is.
Oh, it is?
It's not. His is Bendis, and he can't. He's got to shake up the status quo, and so he took Moon Knight to LA and made it a whole different thing. And it's.
I mean, he has an actor persona, right?
Well, yeah, but they don't. The way
they don't delve into spoilers,
that. In Bendis' run, he doesn't have personas. He just sees Captain America, Wolverine, and Spider-Man and talks to them.
Oh yeah, I heard about this.
So it's just kind of goofy.
Interesting.
It's Bendis. I mean, it's got the quippy Bendis dialogue. It's got all that. It's just kind of it's Moon Knight talking to Spider-Man in his head.
Tight.
Yeah. All right, now it's okay. What about indie books? Like, do you have a favorite indie you've been reading lately? Or I know you're behind, but whatever. Like,
yeah. So, man. So I read this book. I went to Vegas, and I read this book twice on the plane. And it's a book that takes 15 minutes to read the first trade. But it's A Righteous Thirst for Vengeance, and that book is so good.
Yeah, that is.
But I read it twice because it's so solid that I read that book twice. And it's so weird how like Rick Remender is one of those. Like, I love Deadly Class too, right? But I've also read some of his other stuff. Like, I've tried to get into Black Science and Low, and granted at the time those are both very depressing. So maybe I just wasn't in the good headspace to read those. But like, I think he's kind of one of those guys. I mean, guys where if he does it, it's good, and I like it. But sometimes it gets hard to get into it.
Yeah, I really like Black Science, but I couldn't get into Low. I've never finished Black Science. I have the first omnibus, and I need to look. I review omnibuses. Brian LCS.
Brian.
Yeah. I'm kidding. But yeah, but I just never finished it, and I need to. But yeah,
I think I have
and I never
everything.
started Deathly Class. I tried watching the show, and I actually enjoyed the show. Then I got
The
canceled.
show is spot on to the first volume. That's another
Yeah.
book that would be good to Hoopla.
Yeah,
It's pretty cool. I mean, it's cool. It's quick. It's 80s. That's in high school.
Yeah. Have you when you were talking about champions? Have you read the Runaways?
I have the first hardcover of that. That was Brian K. Vaughan, right? Who's
Yeah.
one of my favorite authors too. But yeah, I've read the first few books, and then it was like one of those where I think I like took it on a trip and left it in my wife's car, and then kind of forgot that I was reading
Yeah.
it, so then I didn't read it again. I don't know. It's like one of those early Marvel hardcovers that's not quite an omnibus, but it's not quite a trade, and it's just awkward and hard to read sometimes, and you're just like, I think pages might fall out of this eventually.
Yeah, I just think when you were talking about the newer run of Champions, I just think that like it hit a lot of the same beats as Runaways did for me. I just think the Runaways, Brian K. Vaughan's Runaways. I've not read anything that other writers did after him, but like I just think
It was Rainbow Rowell, who I think is doing She-Hulk.
Yeah, which I'm actually not hating. So
I've heard good things about it. It's in my stack. I decided to read Catch Up on Justice League by Brian Michael Bendit.
I didn't read any of that. I read the last issue and I didn't give a shit. Oh, they're all dead. Okay, it's like how to anticlimactic kill the Justice League. Yippee! They'll be back, people. Spoilers.
I loved Wonder Girl, but that got canceled.
I love the first issue of it, and then it lost me.
So. Well, did you read all of it though?
No, I gave up because I was like, I just don't care.
I've heard people kind of didn't like the second back and forth, and then on like issue 4, it kind of fixed itself.
Okay, I think I stopped after 3. So. I loved Joelle Jones' art, and I loved it when she was doing the art and the writing. But I understand that wasn't probably she couldn't keep up.
I mean, I liked the first World's Finest, but was it good? No, it's just kind of cheese.
Yeah,
I don't know. You give me Dan Moore on art and Batman, and like, so that's the thing. Him on like Dark Detective and Dark Detective, the thing that I thought didn't complement his art is that it was so dark and broody.
Oh yeah.
Where like World's Finest is very bright and bright colors suit Dan Moore. Moore, I mean, like Once and Future has my favorite art of any art. Like Dan Moore and Simone de Meyer.
I'm not caught up on that either. That's another one I trade. I purposely trade weighted because I want to read it in chunks.
Yeah.
But yeah, his art's great in that.
Yeah. I mean, Dan Moore is it's a gift to all of us.
Yeah.
What about you? Like, what are your indie books? I haven't caught your show in a while.
I really, really liked Crimson Cage.
Oh yeah, that's one of my top ones too.
Which just wrapped up.
If
you're not reading,
finished it.
Yeah, if anyone is still watching, there's only 4 people. We've bored everybody off of here, but that's all right. I don't care. Like if you've not read it, it wraps up perfectly. It's gory, it's gorgeous. It is Macbeth meets Southern pro wrestling, and it's amazing.
With horror influences. And and it's all AWA trades are $9.99.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a local comic shop, they have a discount program with Amazon, so you get 10% off on the trades through Amazon.
But
I don't like to promote Amazon, but if a company's working with Amazon to get the books out to people for cheaper prices, I'm all for that.
Yeah. But I mean, I kind of agree with you. I've been really liking the new Moon Knight for the most part. I'm enjoying Nightwing on DC side of it. I like Swamp Thing quite a bit. I'm trying to think what else.
Did you read Hotel?
No. I read the first one as a trade, and I figured I'll just read the second one as a trade because I think it'll probably, if it has the same structure, I figured I'd just like it better when I have the whole puzzle in front of me, kind of thing. So, yes, I guess it's a yes and no. I read the first volume of Hotel, but I did not read the second volume that just wrapped up.
Yeah, it just finished too. I mean, if you like the first volume, you like the second volume. But John Lees is becoming one of my favorite horror writers. I think he does something that people love. And sorry, dude, you know why I'm sitting like this. I already told you about it.
He's melting peas.
Yeah. So, what I like about it is that for something like Ice Cream Man, where I think a lot of people love Ice Cream Man. I personally love Ice Cream Man, but Ice Cream Man is hit or miss every issue, right? I think Ice Cream Man is bold where it does some writing stuff better than any other book. Like the writing in that book, he takes risks and does stuff that are very I'm writing a book. solely to do one plot-driven base thing.
Yeah.
And it can turn out very cool, and it can turn out very not cool. And I think it's a little too depressing for some people.
Which, yeah, haha. I think also, well, obviously, same writer, but like, I love that W. Maxwell Prince just takes chances every issue, and like, he's got the solid artist that can back him up. I can't, the guy's name escapes me, but like,
Martin Morazzo is Ice Cream Man.
Yeah,
and actually, the Burrito are interviewing him today, so that'll be up on our channel.
Oh well, I should get off of here then. You guys go watch.
Well, it's recorded.
Nice. Well, I know you also you have a bedtime imposed upon you, right? So you're trading shifts pretty soon. So we can.
Oh, I'm at this point. I'm not really dealing with a shift at all because I can't lift a 18-pound child by myself.
Gotcha.
So,
whoopsie.
But, yeah, I think that the thing that Hotel does very good is that it takes these anthology-based horror stories and intertwines them all together in the final issue. That kind of makes it like you get something for finishing a trade.
Yeah, it reminded me of the movie 4 Rooms.
Yeah.
Just
That's
because
kind of been my pitch. 4 rooms with horror, and it all intertwines at the end. Yeah,
like and some of the any of those anthology kind of there's several like what's it? That doesn't matter. There's another horror movie that I was thinking of where people get stuck behind a truck.
Trick or Treat.
Yeah, I never saw that one.
Oh well, that one's anthology based too.
Sure.
Oh, you're thinking of Final Destination?
No, it's like Coven or no. I can't. It's not Coven. It's like what is a posse of like semis called? It's something with a C, but I can't think what it's.
Of semis?
Yeah, like we're stuck behind a.
Caravan.
Might be Caravan. No, I can't remember. I might my brain is shot. But it was another. It's a horror anthology movie. Now I get the. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Anyways, it was an indie one. It's not Tales from the Dark Side either. I'm not pulling it up, but like. Hi, Justin. How you doing?
Convoy.
Well, Convoy. Yes, Convoy. Thank you.
The first answer to a question is, what is a group of truckers called? And somebody just responds, stupidity, question mark.
Yeah. Justin, you're kind of getting in here right as we're wrapping stuff up. Sorry, man. But you're welcome. I would love to have you on the show. And that goes for you too, Tyler. I know you do love mystery boxes, but you sons of bitches, and War Machine, and anyone else still watching. And Les Cruces, you goddamn son of a bitch.
And Justin is a Golden Burrito award-winning
letter, yeah. And he just did Slab Hub this past weekend on Rob's Fat Stacks, which is great. You guys should go check it out.
There's a
lot of awful 90s X-Men books.
Yeah, I didn't win any of the prizes, so it was a bad issue of Slab Hub for me.
I don't have a lot of. I've won on there once, which is fine. I keep hoping to win when Man Cave is on there and giving out like enormous slabs to everybody.
Oh, yeah. I won 2 mugs, but I gave Tyler a mug once.
Yeah, I won 2 mugs, and I told Rob to give him to hold on to him because like I already have a Rob mug, and I'm like, I'm only one person. I can't drink out of 3 coffee mugs. I don't.
Yeah, and normally I bring some comic-related mugs to work.
Yeah, that's fair, Tyler.
It's weird using a Slab Hub mug at work.
What kind of work do you do? It's probably fine.
I work in IT.
Oh, yeah.
So most people will probably know what Pornhub is.
Man, it's Michigan. You got to jerk off and cope with your life somehow while you're there. I'm kidding. Parts of Michigan are lovely. The parts that are... No. Like, Flint is amazing.
I mean, yeah, but comparing all of Michigan to Flint is very.
No. I take it back. Detroit. Actually, Detroit's coming back. Detroit. I know. I'm just talking smack. I really like Grand Rapids, and Traverse City's fun, and Ann Arbor I've never been to, but it's got a garbage college, so I don't care.
Oh yeah, I agree with you there.
There you go. Are you a Michigan State alum then? Is that?
I am a Michigan State fan, not an alum. My great grandpa was an alum, or my grandpa was an alum. And so we've had season tickets for football like my entire life.
Oh, nice. One of my friends, when I lived in Chicago, she was an Michigan State alum, and she would force me to go watch the Big Ten tournament every year with her back when they were actually. Nice. Yeah, so.
When they were good, yeah. When Tom Izzo was, I mean, they're fine, I guess. Yeah, Michigan is a weed, though.
Yeah, that's true. Wisconsin is so behind on some of their shit. Our politics here is such a mess, but.
Oh, man. I'll try and find it. There's this, I like this show called Reply All.
Okay.
It's a podcast, and
I
they
figured
do
it sounds like a
weird
podcast.
stuff.
Yeah.
But one of the episodes is about some weird like town in, I don't know what they tried to do. There was some like it was some town in Utah, or not Utah, Wisconsin, same place though.
Same place.
And they like had like all their politicians wrapped up in like either Amazon or something, where they were going to start factories there, and it was really
Foxconn,
weird.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It was all about that, and it was so like bizarre and weird.
Oh yeah, because like they all got, all the politicians, they all became instant millionaires, like by like getting all these contracts that just never ended up happening. Foxconn pulled out. Scott Walker was the governor. I mean, it's a mess. And he's the same guy that also, same governor that canceled upgrading the trains, which would have started a train line from Chicago to St. Paul, which eventually would have connected and headed out west on high speed rail, which would have been amazing. Nice. But no. We can't have nice things. I don't know what that's. I am too blind to know what that is.
Technically,
the weed. There you go. Yeah, Wisconsin, Utah, right next to each other. Religiously, they're different, but same. Utah has magic underwear. We have wacky ass Lutherans. Same thing. We could really get into that too, but I really don't quite want to lose any more followers than I've lost already today. So.
I don't know anything about that, so I'll just go.
Oh, I was raised Lutheran. My mother was a Lutheran grade school teacher and stuff, and my brother-in-law, who's a Lutheran minister, was one of 3 pastors that excommunicated me and kicked me out of the church. So Christmases at my sister's house are real fun.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah. It is what it is. But we could talk about that at another show, people. If anyone wants to talk religion and politics, I'll set up a different live stream.
The religion and politics hour. It'll be private, and you have to ask for the stream to watch it.
Nah, I don't care. At this rate, like at some point, I would really like to get to 1,000 followers. That milestone everyone's trying to hit.
Yeah,
I am going so damn slow, and my view hours keep going down. So I'm never getting monetized. So it's just kind of a personal thing. And God still, thank you, War Machine. I just don't love him or her. But anyways, or them, yeah, whichever pronoun that fictional entity prefers. But yeah, I did 1,000 followers. You've grown pretty quickly on here with your new channel though. Like you're up to what, 400 some followers already? Probably. I kind of.
I'm just under 375.
Oh well, so everybody, all you guys go follow. Links down below.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely got the thing that I was a known commodity, I think, beforehand, which helps.
I don't know what that means, but
like I was a thing before
yeah.
I started my own thing. So like, well, really, I only made it so I don't even know if I think the only person I've ever told this to is Tyler from Whack Comics. But the reason I made it was because I was making reels on Instagram, and I wanted to see how well a YouTube channel with only shorts would work, and if I told no one about it.
Nice.
And then for Whack Comics, they had their 1,000 sub giveaway, and you had to make a video. And I did a short for that on there.
Nice.
And that's when people found out about it. And then I started doing more stuff. But yeah, I think I ended up getting to like 65 followers by only making shorts.
That's awesome.
Like for a month, I just made shorts and I didn't subscribe to people or find people to subscribe to so they wouldn't sub me back. I just was seeing what would happen. And
I've never made a short. I should probably try. You have to do it on your phone, right? Because you do the vertical format.
You can do it however you want. Yeah. I mean, but you can do that with a camera if you.
Oh, sure. I mean, I can actually.
But yeah, I mean, it's weird the way that shorts work. So which I didn't realize this, but I don't know if you know Super Russ 9000. He made a short for Johnny Depp, and it ended up getting going loosely viral, right? He had 40,000 watches on the short.
Yeah.
And it got him 1,000 watch hours.
Wow.
But it doesn't count to your monetization.
But still.
But if you're getting monetized,
yeah,
you'll get paid for the view hours.
Yeah, so damn.
It's weird. But yeah,
go ahead.
But you can also get a bunch of subs. One of thanks, Chris.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's serious or not because you
I'm sure
comment on a lot of my stuff.
Las Cruces follows everybody. But Justin, yes, we can definitely talk about fish fries the whole time. I have strong fish fry opinions.
Yeah, so so like one of my shorts has 5,000 views, right?
Wow,
I
yeah.
gained 35 followers from
That's
it.
awesome, yeah.
So that's where shorts will benefit you is that I mean, but that's the thing, you have to create something in a small amount of time that is like
And
worth
that's
doing.
clever. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like the one thing that I used to think was the best is if you go to Instagram, what you can do, and this would probably suit your channel very well, is like maybe your pick of the week or your worst book of the week.
Yeah.
You could just do a green screen thing on Instagram for 1 minute review
Yeah.
and then throw the short out. And
I
at the
thought
end of it,
shorts had to be
say,
under 15 seconds. No, they're longer. I'll check.
it has to be under 60 seconds.
Oh, under a minute. Oh, that's fine. Yeah.
I've noticed that under 15 seconds do better. The
Okay.
other thing is you only want to make one short a day.
Gotcha. I thought about doing the worst because Robbie from Pop Culture Philosophers, who doesn't know I exist, it doesn't matter. He does his top 5 books of the week and stuff. A lot of people are doing their favorites. What I decided I've kind of decided against doing my pure worst because I don't want to. There was a chat of this actually on an Odd Comic Burrito where like the burritos. I don't think you might have been in there at the time. Don't want to say anything negative about indie creators to discourage them, which I don't have a problem critiquing the book, but I don't want to emphasize that it's the worst book I've ever read. So what I might do is just do worst mainstream book of the week.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, that's the thing. Yeah, like we're very okay with talking shit about Marvel or DC, and at this point, even like an Image book for the most part.
Yeah. I mean,
it kind of depends. Also,
if it's a book, and I will be brutal, even if it's indie. I don't care about that. It's not that's just not my. But my point isn't to like discourage folks from making things. I have a great respect for anybody that goes to the effort to make a book, and it's a Herculean effort. It's just kind of
I mean, I've definitely went on table saying this was like saying what is the worst book I've ever read. And I'm pretty sure the writer of that book wrote a book this year that I was very into. So, I mean, it can change. Also, I know that like Comic Book Poser was a very big fan of that book. And he told me that I just must hate women if I did not like that book.
Wow. What was the book?
She Said Destroy.
I've heard of it. I've never read it. And
It was an early Vault book. Yeah. I think the reason I hated it so much was because they had Fiona Staples do the cover.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought Fiona Staples did the art, and I bought it, and the art was not very good, and I was very upset. And I think I just hated it, and I never reread it. I just threw the book away.
Yeah, and see, like my least favorite book of this last week, which was I don't know, the vampire one. I can't think even what it's even called. But,
Vampire Mask.
Bloodstained Teeth.
Oh man, I'm so mad that I subscribed to that book.
Well, see, I watched Robbie last night on his weekly one of his live shows, and he had Gem Mint on there, and he had a couple other people whose names escaped me, and they all loved it. They were raving about it, including the guy that wrote Beckstar, who's Joe whatever.
He wrote She Said Destroy.
He didn't write it, but he really liked it, and like I really like Beckstar, so I was like, well. Maybe I'm missing something, but I looked it over again. I'm like, no, I can't stand it. I can't. I think it's awful.
I don't know. The art, the coloring was really cool.
I hated the coloring. I hated it. I didn't think it lined up with the story. And
it didn't line up with the story, but it was cool coloring.
It was okay. It's just really garish, and like I make garish ass art. It just didn't fit for me in my head, and I couldn't wrap my brain around it. And then like it just didn't. I just really didn't like the storytelling. I thought it was repetitive, and yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I don't know. I read part of it and then I fell asleep.
Yeah, I just didn't think it. But then, yeah, it was like one of their favorite books of the month. I'm like, oh, okay.
That's so weird to me. But that stuff happens all the time, right?
It does.
And that's the hard thing. And that's the thing. I know that like with Robbie especially, like I really like Robbie and I respect Robbie's opinion. Yeah. But Robbie, like he likes Ram V way too much for me to like ever take any Ram V opinions with like if Ram V wrote a book or like sniffs on a book, it's his top book of the week.
And I'm trying to be better about that because like I love Many Deaths of Layla Starr. I think it was the best book of last year by a lot.
Oh, I agree that it was a great book.
But Venom is fucking awful.
Oh yeah,
so
bad. I mean, it's better when Al Ewing's on it for sure, but
and
like,
that's
not
still
much.
not. I'm like, I don't care. Like,
And like, yeah, which is funny because Al Ewing is one of those people where I thought was always making good books, and then I talked to like Chaos from Chaos and Comics,
oh God,
and he's like, no, he made Immortal Hulk, and he's like the most average Marvel guy.
Well,
like,
and
he's
I
like
tried,
a guy
and I really tried to like. We only find them when they're dead. But like that would talk about muddy coloring and a plot that I just went goddamn nowhere on a wacky premise. I'm like,
yeah, I still pull it just due to the fact that like Simone DeMaio's art.
Yeah, but I mean, I think the coloring got better in the second arc because I flipped through it again. But like, holy shit, is that it's an incomprehensible art and like, and
but
like
I think that's how it's supposed to be.
Fuck off.
Yeah,
Tell a story. Like,
yeah. Then again, we're just two dudes talking about books that we put in a box to send each other. And
yeah, exactly.
Al Ewing, that was the #1 most sold indie book from Boom.
I get it. I also
until Keanu.
I also really have strong criticisms of Werther Dell'Edera's art on Something Is Killing the Children too. So like, you know,
yeah, I get it. I mean, but I think that book is. I definitely was not into the issue 21, but I think issue 22 was very good.
I still think he's just repeating. I get what he's doing.
It is, yeah. But
I mean,
how else do you keep going? That's
but it's sort of like Nice House on the Lake. It's like he's playing with these story beats, but he's also not really progressing shit fast enough for my liking either.
Yeah, so I think Nice House on the Lake might be his best book, but it's just because it'll be done in 12 issues. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that James Tynion got very big very quick, and I think it's kind of not working out for him.
Well,
in my personal opinion,
he's getting paid,
but some people love him, dude. Yeah, I mean, and he's making lots of money. Like, I don't know. There's people out there that think Department of Truth is the best indie book on the block, and I
like them. I like Department of Truth. I don't think it's amazing. It's the X-Files.
Yeah.
With it's long form X-Files story, but it's and
I'm the main character.
Yeah. So but I don't think I like the art on. I like Al Simmons' art on there a lot. Or
yeah, it's Martin Simmons.
Sorry.
And his art is kind of one of those arts that I don't necessarily love, but I get why people love it. It's same with like the guy that does Philadelphia.
Oh yeah, and that's another one I missed out on. So I need to read it collected.
It's good. It's good. I mean, I hate vampire books, and that's easily the best vampire book out there.
That's a low bar to hurdle. There's not a lot of good vampire books out there right now.
Yeah, and when we had Rodney on our show, we did top 3 vampires because we did it during This Week in Comics.
Oh, nice.
And I had Gangrel on my list. Do you know who Gangrel is?
No.
He was a professional wrestler.
Oh,
so there was this professional wrestling group called the Brood, and they were vampires. So Christian and Edge, I don't know if you know them, but they're fairly big. Like Edge is one of the biggest.
I've heard. I know the name. I have not followed pro wrestling since the Saturday morning cartoon in the '80s. So
yeah, but they were vampire stable. That was their thing. Nice. And I had Gangrel, and then Rodney tells this story about how he wanted to become a professional wrestler at one time, and he trained with Gangrel. So I was like, wait, what the hell? I'm glad that I included because my list was like Gangrel, the Count, and like some other terrible vampire because I don't like vampire stuff.
Yeah, that's fair. That reminds me, there's a festival coming up in Green Bay, Wisconsin, the Thriving Metropolis this summer that I have to like RSVP yes to because it's tacos, margaritas, and pro wrestling.
Oh, that sounds awesome. I like all of those.
And things. It's not and it's like the low level pro. I think I probably know one of the managers that's going to be have his wrestling troupe there and stuff. And like one of the guys literally thinks like his act is he's a cat, so they'll throw like catnip or like a ball of yarn in there to distract them, and it's very, very cheesy, like that kind of level pro wrestling. So like the vampire shtick on that level. So it sounds amazing, especially when I have tacos and margaritas in me.
The margarita is my favorite mixed drink. Fun fact.
It's a good mixed drink. Favorite? I don't know. I'm a fan of the Negroni or the Boulevardier, but.
Do you know who else likes the Negroni?
Everybody? No.
Ryan Reynolds. I didn't know what a Negroni is. I literally Googled Negroni this morning.
Okay.
Because I saw a reel of Ryan Reynolds saying that he had a Negroni, and it was so good. That's why I bought Aviation Gin.
Wow. All right.
And I was like, "What's a Negroni?" So I looked it up, and it seems like it's loosely an old fashioned or a Manhattan.
It's got a whole different flavor profile. It's a really,
it's a Manhattan,
it's got some funky bitterness, and like it's got to be balanced right for it to be good.
I'm not a huge gin fan, but I will drink gin and tonics because my friends like them.
And the gin, especially if you use like aviation, it's not a very gin forward drink. The bitters kind of takes over, or the Campari kind of kicks it in the nuts. So yeah, I dig it. I can only, but it's pure booze, so it'll knock you right on your ass.
Yeah, I mean, I like old fashions too, which are
Also, then like try the Boulevardier first, because then you just swap out the gin for bourbon, and that's the Boulevardier. So, you can avoid gin.
Now we're limiting cocktails.
Yeah. Well, I probably actually have to call this one fairly quickly because I do have to let my stupid ass bulldog out, which he's on a pooping timetable. Like so I got
like me when I'm pooping regularly.
Yeah. Well, hopefully the painkillers aren't clogging up the works too much.
It was bad the first time, but once one got out, the rest are fine.
Well, there you go. At least I have the opposite problem. I have ulcerative colitis, so when my train wants to leave the station, it's a bullet train to somewhere.
Narnia.
Yeah, there you go. Narnia. Ooh, Narnia. I love those books. Anyways. But what do you got coming up on your channel? Anything exciting?
I'm very hard to edit. I'm trying to edit stuff on my phone, so we'll see how that goes.
All right.
But yeah, I normally release a video every Friday and every Monday, and I definitely did not have that happen. I don't know when I'll be able to like edit again, so I'm probably going to be behind a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. I'll probably be releasing random stuff that is random. I bought these mystery boxes through previews.
What?
That I got through Gmart that I'm going to open, and I'll probably make a short out of it and a reel, so you'll see if they're even worth it. But yeah, they were like Diamond, the distributor, or no, yeah, I don't know, it's weird.
Diamond I'll have to watch that for sure because I'm intrigued. I'm
never. Yeah, it was supposed to be like $50 value for $30, so we'll see what the hell that's all about.
That sounds very torpedo-ish.
It's supposed to be random. I'm guessing that it's just going to be like 1 in 15 ratio variance. And
yeah, or that might have gotten damaged in shipping, so they have to. Well, I hope you get the first appearance of somebody in there.
Hopefully, I get that Spider-Verse 6.
Yeah, go look for that
100 variant.
It's a stupidly expensive book right now, so I don't know why. I mean, I guess there's 6 first appearances, but they're like Garden Gnome or whatever, Garden Spider.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks, everybody. Cole, thank you so much for being on. I really appreciate it. Everybody in the audience, have a good night. Everybody sub up to Cole, sub up to each other, and as always, just don't be a dick. I mean, mostly. Don't be a dick. See ya.